How's everybody doing? This is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Donald Trump's most recent comments about the NFL's National Anthem protesters and how the internet is in a furor right now. I'm talking about Twitter, Facebook. You got current athletes voicing their opinion, former athletes voicing their opinion, regular normies voicing their opinion, even Roger Goodell, who is a commissioner of the NFL, voicing his opinion. All that is going on and much more. But before we get into all of that, what I'm going to do right now is go and roll this clip from the actual rally in Alabama where he said them. It's a little bit of colorful language in there, but for the most part, it's okay. After we get done with that, I'll talk about that video, my feelings about it, my feelings about some of the athlete reaction, my feelings about some of the normie reaction, and my feelings about some other things that were said about other sports outside of the NFL. So without further ado, go ahead and roll it.
Luther and I and everyone in this arena tonight are unified by the same great American values. We're proud of our country. We respect our flag. Wouldn't you love to see one of these NFL owners, when somebody disrespects our flag, to say, get that son of a bitch off the field right now, out, he's fired. He's fired. You know, some owner's going to do that. He's going to say, that guy that disrespects our flag, he's fired. And that owner, they don't know it. They don't know it. They're friends of mine, many of them. They don't know. They'll be the most popular person for a week. They'll be the most popular person in this country because that's a total disrespect of our heritage. That's a total disrespect of everything that we stand for, okay? Everything that we stand for. And I know we have freedoms and we have freedom of choice and many, many different freedoms. But you know what? It's still totally disrespectful. Yep. And you know, when the NFL ratings are down massively, the NFL ratings are down massively. Now, the number one reason happens to be that they like watching what's happening on, you know, with yours truly. They like what's happening. Because, you know, today, if you hit too hard, right? They hit too hard, 15 yards, throw him out of the game. They had that last week. I watched for a couple of minutes, and two guys just really beautiful tackle. Boom, 15 yards. The referee gets on television. His wife is sitting at home. She's so proud of him. They're ruining the game, right? They're ruining the game. Hey, look, that's what they want to do. They want to hit, okay? They want to hit, but it is hurting the game. But you know what's hurting the game more than that? When people like yourselves turn on television and you see those people taking the knee when they're playing our great national anthem. The only thing you could do better is if you see it, even if it's one player, leave the stadium. I guarantee things will stop. Yep. Things will stop. Just pick up and leave. Pick up and leave. Not the same game anymore anyway.
Okay, so you saw that. You heard that. Now, me personally, I loved it. I loved it. I was there for every minute of it. I was 100% in Trump's corner. Now, some of you may get a little triggered at the language you use, but you have to understand, many of us, hashtag not all, but many of us voted for him because he was able to articulate our opinions that we could not articulate. Your average, regular, everyday normie cannot say stuff like that at the workplace or even away from the workplace in public because it would look bad on the company they work for. So they got to keep a clean profile. But a guy like Trump can use his position to say things like that many of us think. This is how the average American thinks. We do not appreciate the anti-patriotism coming from the NFL. Like I've said many times before, the NFL is built upon patriotism. Look at the shield. It is an American flag. You have red, white, and blue with stars on it. It is a flag. It is patriotism symbolized right there. The whole thing of football, American football, it's a uniquely American thing. It's part of Americana. So we don't appreciate these very high paid athletes kneeling on the field like babies, taking what they have been given for granted by this great country. Many of us don't like it. Now, some of us may be okay with it. Even some veterans may be okay with it. But I know many other veterans who do not appreciate that. Even if they're not veterans, just regular everyday people do not like that. And many of them watch the game. These liberal people that want to support the NFL's protests don't even like the game, really. They think it's too violent. They think the CTE and concussions, that's a way of exploiting black people. Stupid stuff. You know, the NFL is 70% black. So these people that, you know, these liberal people that want to protest the NFL, that want to boycott the NFL, don't even really understand that they're hurting an industry that has a 70% black base. So if you want to be in Colin Kaepernick's corner, you want to be one of these guys that say that Colin Kaepernick was right, he should be in the NFL, he's not in the NFL because of what he said, this, that, and the third. If you support him and his cause, which is supposed to be looking out for black men, then why would you be in favor of a league that's 70% black losing revenue because you boycott it? It does not make any sense. That's just like saying you're going to protest police brutality by burning down your own neighborhood. You're going to burn down a black bank. You're going to burn down a black grocery store because a white person said something that made you upset. It does not make sense, but I digress. Now, let's get to some of these athletes, these 200 IQ guys on Twitter, your Baron Davis of the world, your LeBron James of the world, all these people tweeting stuff recklessly because of what Trump said. Why are they really getting triggered? I don't understand. What he said, what Trump said that is 100% correct. If these guys, your Baron Davis, your LeBron James, well, Baron Davis is not in the league anymore, but if you're LeBron James and everybody else is offended at what he said, then like, what they going to do? They're going to go on the court and then protest so they can lose money. And by the way, Baron Davis and LeBron James, these are basketball players, and they were offended at what Trump tweeted because a current basketball player in Steph Curry for the Golden State Warriors, who's an NBA champion, that's like probably the best team in the league. He said he did not want to go to the White House, so he was kind of like waffling back and forth. So Donald Trump said, okay, since you're indecisive, how about I rescind the invitation? How about that? Now, they're getting offended. My thing is this. Why are you offended? Number one, you don't want to go to the White House anyway, so you should be thankful. You should be like, okay, cool, appreciate it. I didn't want to go anyway, so why get triggered? It's weird. I think a lot of them, they just want to get invited so they can be the person that stands on, you know, all kind of moral high grounds and saying, well, I don't want to go. I rescind the invitation. I snub my nose at the invitation. They want to be out there getting attention, having their opinions heard. That's part of the reason why I don't like guys like LeBron James. You know, LeBron James, the best player in the NBA. If he's not the best player, probably the second or third best player. But I don't like his attitude. I don't like this diva type stuff. I don't like it. I don't like that from athletes. And you've seen a lot more of that with these NFL protests starting to ramp up. So what Trump said was 100% correct. In my humble opinion, I think many of us in America feel the same way he feels. And that is probably the reason why the NFL ratings are going down. You got those that support Colin Kaepernick that are supporting the NFL ratings going down because they think that it's them that are protesting the league and making the ratings go down. But the reality is they are the extreme minority. A lot of them don't even watch sports anyway. They may watch the big game in February, the Super Bowl, and watch the commercials and stuff like that and talk about it at work at the water cooler. But the average person who watches division games, I had the NFL pass, that is not the person who is protesting. It's not. You're not going to see a bunch of guys drinking beer talking about, yeah, Colin Kaepernick, I support him. That's not what's going on. So if any protest or boycott of the NFL is working, it's not the one that is propagated by the left and those that support Kaepernick. It is one that is done by most of us that are conservative who do not like what Colin Kaepernick did and what other NFL athletes are doing by protesting the national anthem. So it's kind of weird. You have those that support Colin Kaepernick who say that what Trump said was wrong, but at the same time, the end goal is what they want. They want the NFL ratings to go down. They want to protest, but they don't want the ratings to go down or the protest to occur for the reason he mentioned. But does it really matter? I mean, I could drive a motorcycle, I could fly a plane, I could drive a car, but at the end of the day, I'm getting to the same destination. So why should it matter what vehicle I use to get to a point? Right? But like I said, this is just the 200 IQ of the left. And I say that, of course, in jest. These people are kind of dumb. They don't understand what they're doing. They don't understand the implications of what they're doing. They're shooting their own selves in the foot and thinking of somebody else pulling the trigger. So that's pretty much all I got to say. What do you think about it? Do you think that Trump was totally out of line for his comments? Do you think that he's a white supremacist? He's, you know, just an evil, hateful person? Now, if that's the case, then please explain to me why. Because he was advocating for what you want. If you think that the NFL protests are valid and they're just, and that the ratings declining is a good thing because it's a result of what you do, then you should be in Trump's side, because he's saying you should boycott the NFL as well. But his car that he gets to the destination that you want to get to as well is different. Doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It shouldn't matter if you want to get to the same point. But do you think I'm pretty much on point with what I say, that Trump is just echoing the sentiments of many regular Americans? We do not like the politics intertwined with sport, especially when it's far left stuff, because the average person who watches the game is not a far leftist or even a leftist at all. Most of us are on the right. We're conservative. We're center right or further on into the right. That is the reality of it. We're not going to be crying about CTE, concussions and stuff like that, because we know these guys are getting paid millions of dollars. We know that it's guys out there that risk their life for next to nothing. 70% of all firefighters in the United States are volunteer, and these guys go into burning structures for free. So we know that there are more dangerous jobs out there because we actually work. We've actually been out there in the world, unlike many of those on the left who have pretty much been confined to their parents' basement. But whatever your comments are, let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.